Do you ever feel like your emotions are the boss of you rather than the other way around? Today, we'll flip that script. In this episode, we'll uncover the top emotional regulation strategies that have helped millions, yes, millions, gain clarity and peace of mind. My name is Petra Kmetec Bitenc. I am a transformative coach trained in psychology, author of a book Boundaries for a Better Life, and I've spent many years studying on how we can master our emotions for a more fulfilling life. And now get ready to discover a few secrets that might just change your life. We have all been there, waking up anxious about the day, feeling irritable in the traffic, or exhausted after an argument that played over and over and over in our minds. Yes, those ruminations can be really hard. I've been there and it's not pleasant. And we have to know that all this unmanaged anxiety or anger, they can sabotage our relationships, our careers, and even, yes, our health. It doesn't stop with you. It affects also everybody else that is in contact with you. So all these unprocessed emotions, or it's anxiety, or it's anger, or it's sadness, they have this butterfly effect on people around you because we use those mirror neutrons that are really helping us to get emotionally in closeness with others. But there is one thing to remember. It's not just you. Everybody struggles with emotional swings. Trust me, even that calm yogi type of a guy they have their own story. So we all experience some emotional swirls in our lives. Today, I will teach you how to cope with those. But first, a little bit psychoeducation, because this is really helpful when you understand your own emotions, when you understand why you are reacting and not thinking through on how to respond, but you are just reacting on the world that is going on around you. So when stress spikes, our bodies are flooded with cortisol, with adrenaline, and this is preparing us to flight, fight, or fright. But the problem is that life isn't a constant jungle chase, so that tension just builds up slowly. And one thing is that if we would be still around in the jungle, we would have a conflict, we would fight, we would flight. And then after a couple of minutes, when this momentum is over, then we would be back again to our rest and digest phase, when our body would just calm down, our parasympathetic nervous system would kick in, and we would just get over it. But our brains are developed a little bit better, a little bit more sophisticated, and that's why for us humans it's not so easy. We need to learn how to cope with those emotions, how to cope with our reactions to the outer world. And sometimes I could really wish that we had some snooze button to hit all those picky stress hormones. Am I right? Do you feel that also sometimes? I guess yes. Today, everything is different. We live in a fast-paced world filled with deadlines, with notifications, with social expectations, with somebody that looks angry at us or sad or filled with some expectation to feel. And that is why our emotional systems are constantly on alert. And today we'll learn how to regulate it. We often mimic the emotion regulation style we grew up with. If your parents bottled it up, then chances are that you will do just the same. If they released their frustration with a loud bang, you might use that strategy also. So it depends on in what kind of environment you grew up in and what strategies your caregivers were using, you might get the same, or you might be just the opposite because you were so frustrated when your dad or your mom was yelling at you, so you just decided deep inside yourself, I'm never gonna do that. And that's why you use the opposite coping strategies and you just shut down or freeze whenever some situation that you should be reacting. But imagine navigating life's ups and downs with unwavering calm, like being inside this eye of a storm. Yes, it is possible. I have to warn you that you will never be 100% cured. But you can learn how to navigate all those heavy emotions so they don't seem like Mount Everest, impossible to overcome. A client of mine went from these difficult conversations, from dreading from those difficult conversations at work, to handling them with ease. Just because we practiced, we rehearsed, we done a lot of practicing coping mechanisms, and now they can be more assertive in their communication and be more confident. And just imagine how you would feel like if you would be more confident, maybe talking with your boss or with your parents. And just think about what would be your career, what would your career look like if you would have more self-confidence, more self-esteem, and you would know that you can take up your space in the room when you ever come in. So listen to the end, because I'll share you some coping strategies that you can use, and they're really useful. And this now will be a very important part. So listen carefully, or even better, take out your notebook and write some things down, because one strategy for being more in control of your inner state is to schedule mini check-ins throughout the day. So you can ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? Where I am holding the tension in my body? Do I notice that my shoulders are really high? Do I notice that that I'm doing this frown with my eyebrows? Where in my body do I feel tension? Do I have this knot in my stomach whenever I see that person, or whenever I go to my job? Or how is my body reacting to the world around me? And you can have different strategies that remind you on thinking about how do you feel. So this can be a phone alarm, or just use some habit stacking, like check your emotional state whenever you grab a cup of tea or a cup of coffee. And this one is yogi tea. It's not a commercial, but I like it. And it has these cute little notes here. And this one today is be kind to others, but always be compassionate to yourself. So yeah, I like it. Cheers. So you can use this kind of reminders that you get in touch with yourself, like how am I feeling right now? Where in my body do I feel tension? Or what is my tension telling me? Because whenever you get curious about your body, about your state, your body is always giving you messages. It always is telling you something. And if you really listen to it closely, then it will open up a whole new dimension of informations to you. So don't be shy, just ask yourself, maybe when you sit down, or when you go for a toilet, when you grab a cup of coffee or a cup of tea, and ask yourself, how am I feeling right now? What do I need in this moment? And all those little things, they add up, they stack up. And after, if you do that, if you're doing this practice maybe for 1 month, for 1 year, you will see the difference, because after 1 year, you don't have to ask yourself anymore, how am I feeling right now? Because you will be aware of your body all the time. And I think this is one really good practice that you can do. So jot it down in your notebook and remember it. so you can use it later. Another really good strategy is to label your emotions. So you can say it, name it, to tame it. And this can be like, you can label your feelings like frustration, anxiety, fear. And whenever you give it a name, it loses its power. And you can talk to it like, okay, anger, you're here now. What are you trying to tell me? Or anger, I see you. Or frustration, I see you. We'll go through this together. Maybe it seems like woohoo, and it's something like it's not working, but believe me, it is working. Labeling your emotions, it can be really, really helpful. And you can imagine like it's calling out the elephant in the room, except that elephant is your stress. And once you see it, you can show it the door. So, okay, you are here. We will talk this through later, but now let me deal it in my way, the way I imagine it, with more control and without all these heavy emotions. Another strategy you can use is breathing technique. There are many breathing techniques. I bet you heard about boxing breathing techniques, like when you inhale 4, hold for 4, exhale 4 counts, and then hold for 4 counts. I really like 4, 7, 8 technique. It's like when you inhale for 4, hold for 7, and exhale for 8 counts, it feels like a mini reset button for our nervous system. Because when we slow down and extend our exhalation, in this example for 8 counts, we stimulate our vagus nerve, which helps shift our body from this high fight or flight sympathetic state to more relaxed rest and digest parasympathetic state. And maybe we can do this together. So let's do this quick breathing drill together. Let's inhale for 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold for 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And exhale 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and inhale for 4 counts, and you just keep looping this breathing technique, breathing pattern for in, hold for 7, exhale for 8. You can prolong it, you can shorten it, whatever you feel. If you're really in this high stress, you can maybe do just boxing breathing, so 4, 4, 4, 4, because it's a bit easier, it's a bit shorter. But really, when you do this long exhale, it really calms our nervous system down, and then we can not only react, but we can really respond with thinking. Because when we are in this fight or flight mode, our thinking capacities really shrink. And when we start to relax our bodies, then our thinking capacities light up again. And we can see the whole forest, not only the tree in front of us. So this is really a good analogy. And you can use also the sound with exhaling, like Dr. Peter Levine does. So he's doing, maybe you can do this 4, 7, 8, like for inhale 7, you hold, and then you just do with exhales, like really low sound. Just try to feel it deep in your stomach, because it's the sound, the vibrations in the body, they really calm our vagus nerve down. So this is one really useful tip. Do these breathing techniques. You can do it. I'm doing it every morning, not because I would need to, but because I'm learning, I'm teaching my body how to calm down when, for the instance, when I will need it, then I can just switch it. But if you don't practice all those skills that I'm about to share with you, or that I already told you, then when you are in this panic mode, in this hyper emotional state, you won't remember them. So it's really important to be aware that if I wanted to be calm, if I want to regulate my emotional state whenever I need it, then I need to practice this in advance. So my body will be accustomed to those exercises, that my mind will be accustomed to those exercises, because when I need them, I will have them somewhere here. They are here, I can just pull it out. But if you don't practice, if you just listen to it and then forget about it, and the next time you'll be maybe in a car and somebody will pull in front of you, and you will be really stressed, you will go into this hyper state. You won't remember those exercises then. So yeah, I will continue with exercises. Maybe you'll find one exercise that it's really like primal to you, that you really feel like I can use this every day. So let's go on. You can use also cognitive reframing. So this means that you challenge your negative thoughts. And you can ask yourself, is there another way to see this situation? Because often we turn a single mistake into a global catastrophe in our minds. So stop that rumor mill, because it's not helping. It really is not helping. So if you ask yourself, is there another way to see this situation? You can think about it from another perspective. Maybe this guy who cut me off in the street, he has wife there who is in labor and they really need to rush to the hospital, or something else. Everybody has their own stories, so it's really important to not just assume something, that somebody is stupid or they are ignorant or they don't think about other people. Maybe there is a real crisis somewhere. Or if somebody is rude to you, maybe they really had a tough day. That doesn't mean that you just accept everything, that you are really stoic about life and just throw at me whatever it comes and I will just be like this Zen master who doesn't react. No, we are people, we live in communities, we are in contact with others, and we reflect what we see, what we experience. So it's good to have these emotional capabilities to regulate ourselves, so we can maybe, when we see somebody who is really in stress, ask them, hey, what's going on? Really? I see that you're reacting like really rude, but what's really going on? Why are you acting like this? Because usually the way people react, the way people act, it's a reflection of their inner state. It usually doesn't have to do a lot with us. Sometimes yes, but usually it's just the way they talk with themselves and how they are experiencing the world, and they just give that out. Because it's the way I'm acting, the way I'm thinking, I'm talking with myself, I'm usually talking also with others, so have this in mind. Another really useful technique is physical grounding exercises. So you can use your body. You can just tense and relax muscles, and we can do this together. So just squeeze your hands really tightly, just make this hard grip and relax. And maybe pull up your shoulders like really high and just feel the tension in the neck and in shoulders, and then relax. And you can do this with whole body, just from head to toe, from toe to head. It doesn't matter what kind of sequence are you using, just try to relax the whole body. And this simple exercise, these simple actions can help you bring back to this calmer state, calmer baseline. One technique that I love, that I really love, and this is here on this also the note, be compassionate with yourself. So self-compassion. Learn how to speak kindly with yourself, use positive self-talk. And this means that you will need to replace harsh inner criticism with compassionate dialogue. And this might be hard in the beginning. It was really hard for me. But with time, you learn it, and try to offer yourself the same kindness you'd give to a dear friend of yours. Because if your friend would do something not even stupid, we usually are really harsh with ourselves and we don't even do something stupid. Maybe we don't do things that we say we're gonna do, and then we are just, oh, but you should do that. Why are you so lazy? You are procrastinating again. You blah, 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 blah. You know how it goes. Just then say, stop, enough. I did whatever I thought I needed to do today, and maybe instead of this one thing, I did like 10 other things. I will do it again. I will try again tomorrow better. And just don't give up. Try, rehearse. Tomorrow again, or today if I have time. I can do it today also, but be kind to yourself. Imagine you are talking with a little tiny version of yourself. And if this is hard to grasp, maybe ask your parents or go through a family photo album and just find a photo of you when you were 3 years old, or maybe 7, when you were more able to understand what is going on around you. And just talk to this 7-year-old version of you in a kind way. And I'm really curious how, if you are trying these exercises, how does it work for you? Because for me, it's always like magical. It really works good. Because you know, the greatest relationship you'll ever have is the one you have with yourself. So start building trust, start building empathy there. Be there for yourself and watch what happens. And my favorite strategy of all, that's why I left it to the end, is working at increasing people's confidence and capabilities. So people who are my clients, let's say, they often underestimate their power. So with learning how to cope with problems, how to do these daily steps of confidence, of being more assertive, dealing with problems, not shying away from, but just go in and solve the problems, you become more confident and take control back into your hands. And I think this is really important, especially if you are a person who is experiencing a lot of anxiety. So just thinking about the problems and reducing them or reframing them or just giving them different light, it might not work well, not in the long term. But if you are confident that you have the skills to overcome whatever life throws at you, then the anxiety will just melt because it doesn't have place anymore. If you know that I am capable, because what is anxiety, for example, is a thought, a feeling that the problem we are facing is bigger than our capabilities to solve it. So if we look at this equation, then if we increase our capabilities, if we increase our coping mechanisms, our strategies to deal with problems, then anxiety shrinkens. So this is what is like a core of working with clients in my work. And I will also leave you one notebook in the description below, so you can download it for free, of course, and try to implement some of those strategies into your own life, into your own everyday, because you will see, if you really do them, you will see difference, not in one day, but yes, in 1 month. Or maybe if you are really good with that and you really dedicate your time to practice, you will see and feel the difference sooner. So now I'm mindful of our time. It's time to wrap up, and I want to highlight some common pitfalls because what often happens is that you forget all those strategies, and when you need them most, then you just don't think about them. That's why consistent practice is the key. And I would suggest you to start small, to build up slowly. Don't try like 10 different techniques overnight. They won't work. Pick one, like mindful check-ins, and make it a habit. Stick to it. Practice it day by day. Put some notifications on your phone to remind you, oh, it's this time of the day and I want to practice this because I want to be ready when shit hits the storm, you know. So if you can sustain momentum, you have already won. So remember that. If you can sustain momentum, you have already won. So self-awareness grows over time. Celebrate every small step. Trust me, it adds up. So you can do also success journal. Like Eva was talking in our podcast previous week. You can do that and just see what difference it makes in your life. And if we summarize like what all the things that I was speaking about today, emotional overwhelm can sabotage our well-being and our goals. Because when we are in this overwhelmed state, it's hard to focus on our growth, on our progress, on things that we want in our lives. So we just usually shrink. We shrink down, or we overreact in an inappropriate way. So it really can sabotage our progress. So this is why emotional regulation is crucial. It's the foundation for healthier relationships, for professional success, and of course for personal peace, for loving relationships. The solutions that we gave are many, so like mindfulness, labeling things, breathing techniques, reframing your thoughts, grounding yourself, self-compassion, and also growing our capabilities to react. So growing our self-worth, knowing that we are capable of doing better and more, and be more calm whenever we need to. So for the end, remember that even small changes in how you handle your emotions can yield massive improvements in your life. In the link below, I left you a workbook that you can download. It's a free guide on how to become more confident. Just feel free to download it, to share it, to talk about it with your friends, with your trust ones, and maybe do those exercises together. Because when we have these accountability partners, usually we do better, we do more, and we are more consistent with it. For most of people, this helps. Maybe you may be that lone wolf and you would like to do things by yourself. It's okay, no judgment whatsoever, but it's helpful if you do things with your friends. And I hope you know by now that you have the power to shift your emotional landscape. Every time you choose to regulate rather than to react, to explode, you're one step closer to a better life. So try out one new strategy, maybe per week, maybe per month, or do at least one this week. And pick one, say to yourself, I'm gonna use that technique because I really liked it and I'm curious what will bring into my life. And feel free to share your experience on social media, tag me on Instagram, Limitless with Petra, or here on YouTube. Just leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. I'm really so happy when I hear from you, and that we can share things, and also you can show others that it's possible, that they can also change something in their life. And don't forget to click that bell sign so you'll be notified when the next video is out. And I would really like to thank you. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here till the end on to turning into Secrets for a Happy Life podcast. Subscribe, share, and remember, your emotions are powerful, but you are always in the driver's seat. So take care, have fun, and see you next time. Bye bye.